This is a 2021 Citroen e-C4, and in this video I'm going to update the software in the head unit and navigation here. So updating the software in the car is something you can do yourself now on a lot of modern cars. You don't need to go to the dealership for that. So the way to find that out is in the app. I've opened the My Citroen app. I've then gone to Vehicle and then go down to Vehicle Touchscreen, and it tells me here that there is an update for the maps and there's an update to the operating system. And to do these you'll need a USB key with at least 32 gigabytes, and you can basically download the software on a Mac or Windows machine, and you can click here to get it to email you the link to that installation file. So I've done that already, but the other thing you're going to need is a USB drive. However, on the e-C4 here we have two USB ports. We have a USB-C and a USB-A, and as you'll probably know, to use Android Auto and Apple CarPlay you've got to use the USB-C, and you've got to use the same port for uploading the software. So majority of people won't have a USB-C drive, so I bought one of these on Amazon. It's a USB drive with a USB-A port on that side and a USB-C port on that side, and that's probably what you're going to need. You're going to need that end to plug into your computer to put the software on it, and you're going to need this end to plug it into the car. This was only about £6. It's a 32 gigabyte one, and if you want one of these I'll put a link to it, no, not at the top of the screen, actually in the video description below, to it on Amazon if you want to buy this particular one. It was the cheapest I found, well, apart from some very cheap ones that had pretty poor reviews, but this had very good reviews. But it was only £5.82, something like that, delivered on Amazon Prime. So anyway, I'm going to go in the office now, put this into the computer, put the software on it, and then hopefully come back out to the car, upload this into the car, and then it will update both the operating system here and also the navigation mapping. So I'm at the computer, and there's the email that the software mailed me with a link for both Windows computers and Apple Mac computers. But you can also Google Citroen update, find this web page, and it will do the same, give you the link to the two files. So the file's been downloaded and installed, and this is the installation of it. Let's just minimize these. So it's basically saying enter the VIN, select the updates, insert the flash drive, and allow it to format it and then load all the files onto the flash drive. So what we've got to do is add the vehicle. So I'm just going to put my VIN number and the type of the vehicle in there. So I've done that, and it's now giving me the two updates to the touchscreen and updates to the maps. So I'm going to click download there and leave that running. So while that's downloading there, looks like that is going to take some time. Yeah, it's going to take a good 40 minutes or so. I'm going to get this USB drive ready, or at least check that it's all working and check my drive letter. So using the USB A side, that's now plugged in, I think, but can I see it? No, it's not being detected. Right, it is now. What it was is this little hinge thing needs sliding all the way back. It wasn't allowing the USB drive to slide in enough. I've got another one of these sort of modern slimline ones, and I just measured how much that needed to slide in, and then realised that this did actually slide back. It was a bit tight, but it's probably because it's never been used before. But anyway, there we go. Got drive D up, and it's already formatted and nothing on it. So drive D is what I'm going to use when this is finished. So I've downloaded the files, and it took two attempts at doing it. But anyway, it's worked this time. So when it's finished, it says you insert your flash drive. You need a minimum of 32 gigabyte drive, which I've got, and it is drive D, and it's just saying that recommend you save them. If you use your file deleted, yeah, just say it's going to delete everything on the file. Your file, I mean your USB drive, will be reformatted. So there we go. That's now going to format the drive and then copy everything over onto it. I would just say this has taken a very long time. As you can probably tell, it's getting dark now. So it's taken all afternoon to download these two update files. But anyway, finally that's working, so that's going to put it onto the drive, and then I can then put this drive in the car. So it's the following day now, and the software has finally downloaded and updated to my little USB stick. It was incredibly slow. I think a lot of the issue is my Wi-Fi dongle in the front of this old PC is slowing the network down. Even though I've got a Starlink connection here with a huge download speed, I'm not getting that at this PC. Anyway, I hardly use this PC. It's only really used for making number plates and doing this sort of thing. So anyway, we can now toggle that over to the USB-C port, and let's go and put this in the car. So there is an instruction guide you can actually print off. So when it copies the data to your USB drive, it then gives you a link to a PDF, which is instructions what to do when you get in your car. There's rather a lot of it, but anyway, it's a very simple process. I haven't done it yet, but it's no different to any other vehicle in reality. So when you've got an electric vehicle, what you need to do is put your foot on the brake, push the stop-start button to turn the vehicle on, and let me just turn the volume down, and obviously you need it in ready mode, so the vehicle is all up and running, effectively the same as tick over if it was a combustion engine vehicle. So you just need the vehicle live all the time you're going to do this, and it's going to take up to an hour. However, the e-C4 is a bit different to other electric vehicles in that it shuts down if you're not driving, which is just bizarre. And actually it will turn the vehicle off and then go into the ignition mode, the 12 volt battery mode, and actually it will flatten your 12 volt battery pretty quickly. I don't know why Stellantis vehicles do this. If you've got it in ready mode, it should stay in ready mode. And in EV, particularly in EV with a battery size like this, it could sit in ready mode for a week or so if your heater wasn't on. If your heater was on, it could sit there for 4 or 5 days. Actually, it will sit there longer than a week. But anyway, after 15-20 minutes or so, the vehicle shuts down. So I'm going to stay in the vehicle to keep it live and keep it in ready mode. And actually it says here in the instructions that you need to keep the door shut and keep the seatbelt on. And that's to keep the vehicle in ready mode. But in reality, I don't think that does. But anyway, I'm going to do that to test it. But I've sat in this vehicle before with the seatbelt on, and it still turns off and goes on to the ignition stroke 12 volt battery mode. So anyway, let's have a go at updating this software. So I've got my seatbelt on, you can see the lights come off there, and let's plug this into that port there, and let's see what we've got to do. So after about 10 seconds this message has come up and it says, do you want to continue? We say yes. Do you want to continue? Yes. And now it is running the update. It actually keeps flashing up there, blind spot fault, which I haven't seen before. And this has gone black, so it's clearly rebooting, which is causing a blind spot monitoring error. And there we go, that's what it looks like. It's updating and flashing on and off a few times. And this does go black for quite a while before coming back to a blue screen, so you just got to sit with it and wait. So I would estimate it's been a good 12 to 15 minutes so far, and as you can see it's about 50% of the way through, and so far the car's been happy and it hasn't attempted to turn off yet either. So while waiting for this to finish, I've just been reading through these instructions, and clearly at the moment this is doing the operating system update. And as you know, when I downloaded the software onto this, it's got both an operating system update and the mapping update. So if you're only doing the operating system update, when it is finished doing this, obviously you need to remove the USB stick, allow it to reboot. If you don't remove it, potentially it's going to start trying to update a second time. But if you've got both an OS update and a map update, it says you don't remove it and it will go straight through to the mapping update automatically for the second stage, which is this bit. So we'll see in a minute, well maybe in 20 minutes time, how that works. If you're just doing an OS update on its own, it's going to be like this, and if you're doing a map update on its own without the operating system update, then you're just going to be doing this second stage, which is just going to be updating the maps, which I would imagine is going to be an awful lot quicker than this. So it's now been a good 25 minutes at least, maybe even half an hour, and this has just got to 100% and is just rebooting, and so far the car's been quite happy sitting here in ready mode. So maybe having the seatbelt on and the door shut is the answer. Maybe I wasn't doing that before, but anyway, that has rebooted, and that's the operating system update complete. So, has this done the maps? Ah, there we go, it's just come up. So I was starting to look around to see whether the maps have been updated, but update your maps, yes. So there's a delay of a good 10 seconds until this update message appears. So we're then going to hit install, and there we go, it's now doing the maps. So overall this is a really simple process. You don't really need these instructions at all, it's all pretty self-explanatory on the screen. Right, and we can now select all these different countries. I'm just wondering, do I untick everything other than the UK? Because this car, I'm certainly never going to be taking it out of the UK. Do I untick some of these, like Russia? You don't really want Russia, Romania, Portugal. I think just to save memory, I'm going to untick all these countries. So let's go down Belgium. Never going to drive in Belgium, nor Bosnia, nor Bulgaria, Croatia, Bulgaria I should have said. I'm trying to read through these very quickly. Finland, France. Let's untick all of these and just have the UK. Now I'll leave Ireland. More chance of me driving in Ireland in this than any of these others. And in reality, if I was ever going to be taking this aboard, I'd be using Google Maps in Android Auto anyway. I wouldn't be using the inbuilt head unit. So, there we go. Do I press OK there? Yes. So now that is just doing the UK. So that's to speed it up a little bit as well. Well, I was wrong. This mapping update, even though it's only doing the UK, still taking a long time. It's been probably 10 minutes already and still going. So this mapping is still updating. I don't know how long it's been. I should have kept a track of the time because it's up there, but it does feel like I've been sat here for a good 20-25 minutes now. So it is getting rather tedious now. I thought this mapping would update so much quicker. But anyway, it still seems to be doing it. There's no indication yet that it's sort of stuck in a loop. So I've just got to sit it out. So I could leave the car running and get out, but you've got that scenario then that the car will turn itself off. And that's what you don't want, is the car turning off while it's in the middle of doing a software update. That's when you start getting corrupted files. So if you're in here with the seatbelt on, as I am, really, just to be on the safe side, you've got to stick it out and stay in the car. Or the other option, of course, is just to keep coming back to the car and maybe jumping in and just touching the brake pedal and just doing what you can to keep the car alive and awake and in ready mode. But for now, I'm just going to sit it out while I make this video. So this is just finished. It's now 12:31, so that's been another 10 minutes as well. So the system can reboot. While that's rebooting, I'm going to remove the USB stick. And that should be all the updates done. And as you can see, that's now rebooting. And that's come back up. So, for what I can tell by looking at other people's comments online, you're not going to notice any difference when you look through the systems. That's still clearly booting up on the background there. There we go. So what other people are saying is you cannot see any changes with any of this. So as to whether it's worth doing the updates, I always think it is, because majority of the updates are going to be bug fixes. And I've actually had a few bugs with this system since I've had the car. On the second day of my ownership, the whole system froze. And we did a journey, and during the journey, when I stopped at traffic lights, I did a quick shutdown and reboot, and that didn't solve it. But then we went to a pub, had a meal. In that hour we were in the pub, it sorted itself out. When we came back out and started the car up again, it was okay. But you know, I have had a few little glitches with the system, so that's why I'm doing the software update, because I hope it would fix those. So I've got a message up here now. Let's just see. Why do I need to connect to navigation? Because it makes the journey. Right, okay. This is new, I think. Right, I need to read this. But so yeah, I generally recommend doing the updates, even if you're not going to see any difference to the normal sort of operation of it, because clearly it is doing things. It's going to be updating bugs and things in the background, and obviously your mapping updates is going to be updating the maps. If you're using the TomTom head unit there, the navigation, then you're going to always want to run the latest maps. I can see electricity. Okay, let's just leave that for now. Oh, these are alerts coming through here. So yeah, I don't think any of this. No, that all looks the same. Yeah, all this all looks the same. Climate control, is that the same? Yeah, it's all the same. So yeah, there's no noticeable differences, but time will tell. But anyway, there we go. That's it, I think, for this video. If you found it useful, as always, please do click the thumbs up button. It really does help. Do subscribe to the channel, and if you want to know more about the Citroen e-C4, I'll put a link in the video description below to a playlist where you can see other videos about this car. There aren't too many yet, but while I've got ownership of this car over probably just over the winter, I'll be making lots of videos on this, so the number of videos in that playlist is going to be growing all the time. And do subscribe to the channel if you want to know more about electric vehicles. Okie doke, I'll see you on the next video.